Hello and welcome to the 1Q podcast by Blueprint, where we discuss what we think is the next wave of innovation for technology and businesses. This is a podcast where we ask our guests the one burning question about the future of digital transformation. On the show today, we have Danielle Funston. She's the Vice President of Solution Delivery. She's been with us since day one, and she is an expert in all different aspects of our business, mostly because she's worked in all of them. But also just recently, she's been getting deeper into the security side of the world. So we have her on the show to talk about what her thoughts are and ask her the one burning question and what she thinks about the future of digital transformation. So welcome to the show, Danielle.
Hi, thanks.
Do you want to give a little bit of background on what you do, and since you've been here from day one and we just had our 5-year anniversary, what you think is kind of the coolest aspect of Blueprint?
Yeah, definitely. So again, I'm Vice President of Solutions Delivery here at Blueprint. That involves overseeing and leading really all of our client engagements. So working with the implementation and delivery of our solutions, ensuring that we're tightly knit with our technology experts and we're driving real transformation and pointing our clients to their next 3 to 5 years. As far as what's the coolest thing that I've seen over time at Blueprint, I'm really impressed and continually amazed by our ability to evolve, be flexible, and really have this company full of lifelong learners that's completely motivated by making our clients successful and pointing them to their future. I think that's really rare and something that I've been privileged to see every year as we've continued to grow.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a really cool aspect. So, let's get to the 1Q of today. So with Zuckerberg in front of Congress testifying, which I hope in my entire career I never have to go down that road, being one of those interviews, and with Facebook all over the news, what do you think is the next big thing for companies to focus on over the next 3 to 5 years with regards to security and privacy so they get to avoid these type of situations?
Yeah, definitely. I think what we'll see in data privacy, security, and compliance all around is a disposition change, both on the company side and actually seeing this as a positive opportunity, not just a mandate to change, but actually an opportunity to really strengthen and tighten the relationship with their customers. In the case of Facebook in particular, I think the opportunity there is a great example of where companies will need to go from having data governance and privacy be something that is driven out of IT teams and organizations and actually a part of the culture. I think it's far bigger than policy. We're going to see a huge, massive change in how everybody in every organization views this as their responsibility and really, again, their opportunity to connect with their customer and do the right thing. I think it also facilitates the digital transformation that we're seeing in a lot of companies right now as well, in completely changing, up-leveling, and transforming everything from their development practices to the tools they're using to a lot of their workflows. And again, anything that touches the customer really will need to evolve.
Well, you have a company like Facebook that is in the a technology company that's geared around social media. Which companies do you think are going to be affected the most? And if you're CEO of one of those companies, what would you do right now to actually be able to put that security culture in place?
Yeah, great question. I mean, there's so many companies out there that I think will be really at the center of this. Everyone from Costco, eBay, Alaska Airlines, and light companies, retailers that have global presence and really complex systems, processes, and people that touch the customer along the way. I think it's a really tough thing to really approach making all of those interactions security first, privacy first, when there's so many different modalities and touch points. In terms of what I would do right now, I mean, I would really partner with someone who has expertise in identifying where my biggest gaps are and what we can do today to drive value and to start actually driving that change out into the endpoints and the people and the technology that the customers interact with, and also find a way to connect directly with through messaging, through other opportunities to reach out to customers and talk about what you're doing, what I'm doing. If I'm CEO of one of these companies, I would want to actually make it really transparent and visible that my focus is their privacy and the appropriate use of the data they've entrusted us with.
When you say partner with somebody, are you implying that the actual companies aren't going to be able to have the ability to do it themselves?
I think the best way to look at this is actually to seek out outside help. So when I say partner, I say really go find an expert in this area. It's incredibly complex. And when you're in the middle of an organization, it's incredibly difficult to see how far the privacy relevant data and other interactions really extends. So having someone with deep expertise who's seen this in many different environments, in many different industries and all sorts of different technology and processes to come in and know exactly where to look first and help you identify key priorities that will drive the best change the fastest. I think that's really where companies should look for help to start with.
Can you give an example, like a common blind spot that Fortune 1000 companies might have?
Sure. I mean, a common one that I think isn't talked about enough is even in development and test practices, data that is used and accessed in those environments often contain PII, and it's often not really thought about. Another area is marketing all up and the ways that the company reaches out to customers. In the past, it's been okay to reach out broadly via all sorts of different either campaigns or offerings you may have, because at one point you received consent over one particular offering you had, but that's going to change a lot. So I think that those are areas that are complex and not everybody really knows what it means in those areas right now.
It's interesting that the traditional approach from a company to a customer is almost having an arm's length relationship, and it seems like you're implying that customers should be to err on the side of transparency.
Definitely, I think so. I think what we'll see on the consumer side is more consumers actually being unwilling to participate in an organization or with a company who isn't offering transparency and isn't demonstrating what they're trying at least to do about it. But also, I think the cool thing we'll see out of this is a lot of innovation and intelligence around how companies are actually identifying data, how they are addressing the customer privacy concerns and issues, and how customers are able to actually gain visibility and ultimately control of how companies are accessing and using their data.
That's awesome. Well, if anybody that's interested wants to get a hold of you or reach out and get more information about Blueprint or you as an individual or what our perspective is on this topic, how can they get a hold of you?
I'm on LinkedIn. Danielle Funston is the name on my profile. And then my email at Blueprint is danielle@bpcs.com. I'd be happy to talk.
Where can they see our perspective on the social media side of things?
They can find us at Blueprint on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. This is the 1Q podcast by Blueprint, where we talk about the next big thing for the future of digital transformation.
Thanks.